All right.
What's going on, guys? Today's podcast, I'll be leading us in this one. So we need to talk about what we came back to after Texas. We need to talk about the construction that I felt like I was supposed to go into, what happened with that, and our involvement in church. Now, backtracking a little bit, I don't know if you remember, but when we were involved at Bethany Church at the warehouse campus, they had a leaders meeting, and at the leaders meeting, they talked about expanding to a New Orleans campus.
Yes.
And we specifically heard that we were supposed to start that.
Yeah, we were supposed to be involved with starting that, so we donated to it and things like that.
I had forgotten about that whenever we came back from Texas, because that had been like maybe three or so years.
Yeah, because we were in Texas almost 2 years.
Yeah. So we came back from Texas.
And we were in the camper still.
We were in the camper at my old office on O'Neill Lane. We stayed there for a month. Then my brother talked me into coming and working with him to do construction because he started a roofing company.
Yeah.
So I came on with him as the project manager, and we worked together for 3 months before we got into a fight.
I'm surprised it took that long.
Me and my brother didn't really work together too well.
No, y'all would have moments where y'all would work together for a couple months and then something would happen. Somebody would get frustrated.
Yeah. It's
been like that since
I was little.
Yeah. But when I came in the picture, it was still like that. So
we were really poor at the time.
Yeah.
Do you remember living in those apartments?
Yeah, off of not Independence. Anyway, it was downtown off of Government Street.
We were off of Government Street. The apartments smelled like weed
and cigarettes, and they were revamping the apartments.
It's all we could afford, though.
Yeah, it was. And we could do a 3-month minimum, which was great. 3 months as like our max stay, and that was great for us because we were like, we don't want to be like stuck in a contract, because I think that's all we ended up staying anyway. Yeah. If that. Did you want to talk about that time at the apartments or no?
No. It was rough. We only had one car.
Mm-hmm.
I drove my Mercedes to work, which it sounds nice, but it was a 1982 with
no AC.
No AC. So it was in the middle of summer.
Yeah, it was hot, and I was just pregnant again. So
I parted. We were living in Baton Rouge. I ended up parting ways with Case and his company, and I branched off and I started my own company with what I had learned working with him, because I really there was no other option. I didn't have any other skill sets. I didn't want to go back to selling cars again at the time. It was a bad memory for me.
Yeah.
So we felt like we were supposed to go and help start the New Orleans campus, and we had always wanted to live in Mandeville, so we moved to Mandeville.
Yeah.
Which was like an hour away.
From everybody, yep.
Yeah.
And it was nice. We found a duplex or whatever it's called. Was it a duplex?
An Aquanaut.
It was a strange setup, but it was
cool. A house.
It was a house.
In
it was
downtown
just on
Mandeville.
piers. Yeah, a house on piers.
I like that little place.
I did too. You saw potential in it, and you made it homey.
Yeah. We still had that warehouse at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I started building the construction business. The crazy part was the same month that I left and moved there, a hurricane hit that area, Slidell.
Yeah.
So we had work to do immediately. Mm-hmm. We made about $60,000 in 3 or 4 months, and that kind of kick-started our business.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started hiring people. That 60,000 ran out pretty quick, and I had to hire people to continue to build, because I was working towards building the business for the next hurricane season. And I ended up getting pretty low in the account, and I had to borrow against the building that we had.
Yeah. Which was like, I
borrowed $300,000.
Yeah, I remember you asking me about that.
And we already owed, I think, like $250,000 on it, and it was only worth like $400.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like in the hole big time on that building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used that money and I funded the business, but I was working a lot more.
Yeah. And at that point I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
You were pregnant with
Zion.
We had Shiloh while we were in Texas.
Yeah, we came back to Louisiana to have him, and then went back to Texas, so he was raised as a Texan. And then anyway, you were working a lot.
What was that time like there for you in Mandeville? You were kind of still deconstructing what we believed, and
yeah, I think definitely still trying to figure out why I believed what I believed, knowing those experiences that I had were real, and I mean it was too real to walk away from, but why do I believe the religious way that I did?
Yeah.
More so than anything is what I think the core of the question was. Not like, why do I believe in God? Like, not just that, but like, why am I doing the things that I'm doing?
Yeah.
It was kind of depressing, honestly. And what was crazy is, like, everywhere that we've moved to, I've said in like my heart, oh, it'd be cool to live here, like at one point or whatever. But we ended up moving to Mandeville, which we both wanted to go to Mandeville at some point. And I thought it would be great, but it was honestly really depressing because of where I was at. And I was experiencing hormones and stuff too with being pregnant, and we were trying to figure out what to do with Eden in school. And
for me, I was still of the mindset that what I did for God came first before my own happiness, before my kids. What I did for God was like the priority.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I was raised.
Yeah.
Business was priority over family.
Yeah, because the goal was like to use what we made there to travel, to do missions or whatever.
Mm-hmm. We were trying to build a business in construction that we could go and leave. Our goal was to move out of the country after like making enough money.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was at ministry school, God spoke to me and said that I had two options. Either I could go into ministry then, and I would only accomplish a portion of what I was supposed to, or I could go in secret for like 7 years and have more training without being in the spotlight. And during that 7 years, he would teach me something that would give me much greater influence. So yeah. I decided to take the 7 years and just like go do construction, go be involved in the church. But I knew that I needed to go to other countries to really step into what I felt like I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I thought I had to have money though to do it.
Yeah.
We found out that was not true.
You need a little bit, not too much. Not
as much as I thought.
No.
When did we get involved at Bethany? Not to cut you off, but I'm trying to incorporate that. There was a pre-launch, right, where they did services like at the house.
Not at our house.
Was that while we were in Mandeville?
Oh, yeah. It was while we were in Mandeville.
For like a year. We had a pastor, Pastor Tay.
Yeah.
Where is he at? Nobody knows.
Why?
That was some weird stuff going on at that church.
Yeah. Tay was cool.
So Tay was our pastor for like a year at the home meetings. Chris Burns was the worship leader. We were involved. So all of a sudden, Tay's just no longer our pastor. Nothing was explained to us.
No.
Like the dude was just gone.
Him and his sweet wife.
His kid.
And his kid gone.
They were gone. Nobody talked about them. Nobody said anything about why they left. We were just like, what the fuck?
And we're all...
And then all of a sudden, like, Chris Burns just stepped in and was like, all right, I'm the new campus pastor now. And we were like, okay, I guess this is just normal.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird.
Yeah, it was.
And this guy, Chris Burns, he was like a celebrity Christian too. Had like a big worship following and stuff like that. So I started seeing patterns of what I saw at school, at the church, and like people like who came with him, like moved there from other places to like follow him.
Yeah.
And I was like, the people there were just kind of weird. Like some people were obsessed with like the startup, you know, thinking that he had done something that was like the Bourbon Street revival or something, and people were like following him. Just, I mean, if you start a revival, the whole city's going to change. It's not just like a couple people getting saved and baptized.
Yeah.
I never understood that. People use that word all the time.
Yeah.
Revival. No.
It's just the language, like, especially with over spiritual life. That's not the correct term. It's just, yeah, there's just a certain group of people.
If you feel goosebumps in the service and the person can sing, you might have a revival in your hands.
Something.
Watch out if you extend that service an extra 30 minutes.
Well, that's what we used to believe.
Somebody might start flopping. And if there's flopping, the freaks will come.
The fruits will come. The freaks, the flakes, the fruits, they'll all come.
Yep. They'll come and start waving their banners and yelling and
yeah.
But no change happens in the city.
No, or in them. They're still bitter. They're still comparing.
The thing that I didn't understand was there was this church that they bought to remodel it had a soup kitchen in the back where they would feed the homeless. And so like I saw that and I got excited whenever they were doing the remodeling because I was like, oh, this is awesome. We can actually like do the things that you're supposed to in ministry.
That Christ said.
Yeah. And you know what they did? They got rid of it and replaced it with a kids
ministry
daycare.
Yeah. Which I worked there.
We knew that we were supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. And so we had an obligation to be there, but I'm watching this stuff happen and I'm like, you're missing. And plus I had so much going on with my construction company. We had 3 major hurricanes hit Louisiana within the 2 years that I was in business.
Yeah, which was crazy.
Yeah.
You were super busy.
So the second hurricane that hit was huge, and we grew from 5 employees to like over 30. And within 4 months, I experienced probably the most trauma that I've ever experienced in my life, because that industry was filled with crooks. Because it's quick money. And so all sorts of nasty people come to do sales. And the problem that I learned after being in that business for 2 years was that if you don't manipulate the insurance carriers in the off season, you end up spending all the money that you made during the hurricane season to cover your overhead throughout the year.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that. I refused to
manipulate the insurance company.
Yeah, because then you become just like them. You're having to. It didn't feel like honest work, and I liked working the hurricanes because I felt like I was helping people, like whose houses were blown off, and I was making money and giving people jobs. But once it all got fixed, there wasn't.
We couldn't even keep up with the amount of calls coming in. Like
during a hurricane, it was a headache. But in 3 months, 3 or 4 months, we made over $500,000 cash.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when Trump was president, so there were all kinds of write-offs for like equipment and stuff. I also started a distribution company for roofing materials, and so we bought like probably $300,000 worth of equipment that we wrote off. There was a lot going on. But after, I was so burnt out after that hurricane that I just let everybody go except for like a couple people.
Yeah.
And I bought the farm.
Well, I
paid cash for that farm.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of it. I was like, I'm broke as a joke, but I paid cash for my home.
Well, we were like...
We were so poor.
Not yet.
After I stopped doing construction.
No, let me get to that.
No, let me get to it.
No, let me get to it first. That's it. We're starting our fighting again. Meow, meow, key. So, while we were in Mandeville, I met a lot of people there who were divorced and they drank a lot. And nothing wrong with having a drink, but like a lot during the day. Like
there was a lot of alcoholics in that area.
Yeah. And
because of all the money.
This was after having Zion. I started drinking and because you were working so much, and I was trying to keep up with the kids and keeping them in extra activities. I mean, each of them, the older two were in 4 different things just to keep me busy, because I was so lonely.
Yeah.
And going through postpartum depression, and still weird stuff with my family was going on. And then I was drinking so much during the day and on my own now. I saw these people every so often, but it just became normal for me to have something to drink during the day just to calm my nerves down. And it wasn't just a glass of wine, it was tequila. So there was one day you were gone all day, and you didn't get home till not midnight, but it was 11 at night, and you found me in the bathtub passed out.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember that.
You were you were very gentle with me, but you were hey, I don't know what you got to do, but you need to get help. You need to talk to somebody about what's going on.
That's when I started winding the roofing down.
Yeah.
I was I need to be home more.
I mean, you were gone from 5 a.m. till it seemed like normal hours, 6 p.m., sometimes later, but you were working. And that was for a long time, it seemed. And then it was just, I didn't know how to take care of myself, honestly. It wasn't you. It was me not knowing how to care for myself. It wasn't
me.
It was your fault. I'm blaming you now. No, it was just me. I didn't know how to take care of myself the right way. So we started looking for a home, and
I got afraid. I was oh no, my home life is getting messed up again. I need to be present.
And we were helping a lot of people during that time too.
That's whenever I bought the farm. I was let's get out of this city. We bought a farm in Bush. It was 45 acres. And we just unplugged from society. started raising animals.
Which was fun.
I bought a sawmill and a backhoe and started clearing land and cutting trees. And I went from a business construction guy to overalls every day.
Yeah.
Cutting the grass on the tractor with my wife. Because that's what we needed.
Yeah.
Know? You needed me there. And I was
Yeah.
willing to let go of that for you.
I know. You're good.
I didn't care about it. I only care about you.
I know, Bruce. It's very selfless of you. I think.
And we chopped lumber together.
Remember hand.
Hand hewing that beam. I do.
Yeah. We had there was good memories there, but we were so broke after.
Yeah. I felt like that I had such a fear from growing up that I would lose everything, that the minute that I got that money, I was like, I need to secure my family's future, and I need to pay cash for a house and not have a mortgage so that I'm not trapped, like I watched what happened with my dad.
And we didn't tell anybody about that. Somebody, every now and then somebody would ask me
I told everybody about
no,
paying
you didn't.
cash.
No, you didn't.
I'd invite them out to our property and I would be like, hey, look what I robbed your parents.
Because they would ask you though, all these people would ask.
But I wanted to tell them.
I wanted to tell my family
because
too.
There was a bit of pride in it because I was like, hey, look, you guys should have listened to me. Now look what I have. But there was also
not just pride, also, I think it was
it was like, hey, this is what you could have if you would just, stop chasing, doing the rat race thing.
I think also for me, when family would come out, it'd be like, we're not as crazy as you think.
Yeah. See, we've done something right kind of thing. It's still a feeling of needing to prove ourselves to them.
Yeah, maybe that's the right way to put it. Yeah, I guess that is pride still, but
it's so hard whenever you've grown up in that culture your whole life where everybody's watching you. Every year you come around and it's what vehicle you drive and did you get a new house? How is your business doing? It's all the love and stuff is conditional based on how you're performing,
Because people would see oh, they're renting. Oh, they're in a camper. Oh, they're in a camper again. Oh, they're in this little dingy apartment. Oh, and it's look, it paid off. I have a nice tractor. I have a nice vehicle. I have this and that.
We're basically saying, hey, we did what we wanted and now we have success and you don't.
Yeah.
And that wasn't right.
No, it's not. Because a year later, we had literally nothing.
We had our property paid for, but for probably a year and a half, we lived off of selling construction materials, sawing up wood. I would go do little odd jobs, We ran out of food a couple times and we're on our last meal and then we would have some kind of miracle happen where something would come through. And
yeah, we had, I hadn't talked to this friend for a long time and she called me out of the blue and said, what's in your refrigerator? And I said, why? She goes, I need you to take a picture of what's in your refrigerator right now. And I said, it's literally a glass of milk.
there was not much in there.
And I was using eggs from the chickens. I would go butcher a chicken if we had no meat. But anyway, that friend ended up buying probably $1,000 worth of groceries almost.
Yeah.
And we got to split it with our neighbors who were going through something also.
Yeah.
We
got a chance to live the gospel like we wanted to, which was, and just kind of be to ourselves. It was like being in a third world country, being in Bush. There was very, very poor there and people didn't have much.
Nope. It was humbling.
So back to Bethany, we got involved. You were playing piano
Mm-hmm.
You were doing the kids ministry pretty much every week, piano. I was doing security, and we had this new understanding right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there every week, serving and stuff like that. And I remember people always telling us, like Tyrone, man, you guys need to take a week off for yourself because you're going to get burned out. And I was like, no, I'm not here for me. I'm here because God told me to be here. I'm not just here because I need to go to church. Like, I have specific instruction to be here, and I feel like I'm supposed to serve every week. And so I did for 2 years, and the stuff I learned and what I saw was like horrendous.
Yeah.
I was actually, during those 2 years, God was teaching me how the church has gotten off and how it's not.
I remember the first time you said something, you were like, I read this passage this morning that I woke up and I felt like God told me to read this. And that same day at church, they read from the same passage, but it was like beneficial for themselves, like how they were reading it. I don't remember what it was, but it was things like that. They were
manipulating the scripture to meet their personal needs.
Yep.
But Pastor Simon Abair, he was like the senior pastor, and I did security. And every week he wanted to know how many people attended, how many people. It was their system, and they like cared so much about the numbers. Anytime somebody would come in that was homeless, rather than like offering to help them or find out what their needs were, they would like kind of
shoo them off,
hint me to like go see what they were doing and like, why are you here? Kind of to push them out. And I hated that. And so I started bringing the homeless people to my office. Remember?
I remember.
I put them in my office. I had like an office storage underneath with AC, and I put bunks in there, and I'd let them stay in there.
I think you put a refrigerator
I'd give
in
them jobs
there too.
And stuff.
Yeah, you made it like a home for them. They had stuff to where they could, there was a bathroom, there was like a shower in the office too. And
it was just so odd to them. They were like, I just saw that guy that was homeless the other day go with you. Like, where'd you take him? I was like, oh, I gave him a place to live and a job.
They were like, so like boggled by that. You did that with a few people.
Because that's not the church culture. They're selfish. And so they view the homeless people as like a threat to their lives because they're so terrified of losing their lives. They don't follow the Bible at all. They have no remorse for these people. They don't want to help them. They're terrified of getting killed. The whole purpose in the Bible is that you're not supposed to fear death.
Yeah.
Now that you have Christ, you don't fear death, so that you can go out and help people that are crazy. Because you're not, God's leading you to do it. And so the problem is that God's not leading any of these people. Money's leading them. And so they have fear of death because they're not being led by God. They don't have the assurity.
Yeah.
They're being led by money.
Money.
Yeah. After a while of being at the church, I started to really despise the people because I saw how superficial they were. The worship leaders would all like come and sit like in a certain area that was different than everybody else. And like if you were in their seat and you were a visitor, they would like, I could see their faces. I was like, you have your priority seating that you're now concerned about because a guest came in.
I remember in the beginning asking, I was excited about going to the New Orleans campus because I was like, finally somebody who's going to preach something that's different, which you had already had your experience at LCU. So you were like not expecting, you didn't need anything from anyone. Mm-hmm. And so I was still like walking that out with myself. And I was like excited that Chris Burns was preaching because I was like, somebody that like is woo or whatever. And his wife was the like, I think she's the worship, like she administered over it or something.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, can I play like when he's preaching so I can actually listen to? And that just was, I was like, why did I ask that? Poor lady was like, freak, yep, I'm not getting close to any of y'all now. Like, so
Yeah.
I was like, I just need to go stay with the babies and just play when they need me.
It's such a superficial environment where they don't really practice what they're supposed to. I remember accidentally showing up to the home group for Chris Burns, where we would get together, and we showed up
The wrong day?
the wrong week.
Oh.
And we showed up to the house, and we were like, hey, we drove there from Bush, and we were like, hey,
Here's the snacks. Here's
we
the
brought
chips
snacks and stuff like that. And they were like, oh my gosh, it's not till next week, guys. And I was like, oh, I was thinking they would just like maybe like sit around and talk or invite us in, or like, oh, you know, like, let's just make the most of it and go get dinner.
Because that's what we would have done.
Yeah. And he was like, no, my AC's out right now. It's not really a good time. He was like, but we'll see y'all next week.
And we're like, here's the food.
And we just gave him the food, and we were like, I was like, these people are like flakes.
I don't know
Like
if
how-
they've just experienced so many people being weird with them that they just...
It's because of the celebrity Christianity, and it makes people like that. I've never been like that. I've never like worshiped people because of their accomplishments in Christianity. It makes no sense to me at all. But like to go and show up to someone's house and to like, oh man, I made a mistake, and then there to be no hospitality there, like what kind of body of Christ is that? What kind of love is that? It's not. I could immediately tell that it was superficial. And then from there I was like, these people are just putting on a show.
But it's no different than how the church, how the South was, the Bethany South Campus, and...
Yeah, all of Bethany is like that. It's just, it's sad. And you tell the... because we just kept going. We were like, you know, even though I was seeing all this stuff, every week I was learning stuff that was wrong. I remember
being reprimanded a few times about, like, certain... Like, there was a time where you went to work for, like, 3 weeks in Florida, and I was by myself with the 4 kids, still going to church, still playing, and still serving. And they asked me to play because, like, I was all they had at that time, I guess, or something. And I was like, I have the 4 kids, like, I got to put them somewhere. So I put them in the kids ministry, and I got fussed at by the people in the worship ministry, and I got fussed at by the people in the babies ministry. And for me, when I got corrected like that, I was like, I was infuriated because I was like, I'm literally doing my best. Like, but again, I wasn't at that place that you were. I was still trying to, like...
What I find is that Christians, for the most part, don't have common sense. Like they're so self-focused that they don't think about, like, oh, this person just drove from an hour away to come and meet here today.
They didn't care about that.
Oh, this lady's husband is gone. She's basically watching the kids by herself. Maybe we shouldn't ask for her to play. Like, they don't consider any of those things because they don't care. They don't really give any care about what's going on in your personal life. And that...
I should have said no.
That kind of came to a culmination. And we just kept going. We didn't take it personally. We weren't like, oh, I have a chip on my shoulder. We're just like, God wants us here. We need to be here.
No, we kept going, and I enjoyed you know, what was crazy is, like, I started to, like, I didn't want to serve in the worship anymore. I was like, I'm like over this, like, and what that's becoming. But I like working with the kids.
Yeah.
And so my focus kind of shifted, which I was grateful for. And I served like maybe once a month on the worship team or whatever, but then I would go work.
The last month or so that we were there, I started asking the leaders questions about like, hey, if this is what the Bible says, then why do we do this? Or, hey, why do y'all think that, you can do this if this is what the Bible says? And none of them had answers. They would send me like messages from what other people preach. But I was like, that's not your conviction. You're not speaking to me from a conviction. You're like safeguarding your belief system and using someone else's like teaching to safeguard it, which is the definition of hypocrisy, because you don't even know what you're following.
Yeah.
You're just following it because somebody else said it, which is what I find most Christians are doing. They're just like following what someone else did blindly and not really knowing why they do it. They don't ever care to research and study for themselves. They're like, hey, maybe this is wrong. They don't want to go against culture.
Well, it's scary for them because once they lose that, then what do they have? Mm-hmm. Their safety net's gone. Their comfort's gone.
Which is what most Christians live in, is fear.
Yeah.
Fear of the world. Fear,
losing their kids, losing their family, like losing
they
their
serve
money.
God because they fear going to hell.
Yeah.
Tell the story about, so this was like our last month at the church. We were driving our Mercedes that didn't have AC back and forth because it was our only car. Mm-hmm. And what happened?
We felt like we were supposed to.
We knew we were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
We hadn't gotten any like direction to leave yet.
So I remember specifically that morning, like not wanting to go, like for me. And there were a few days where it was like that, and you're like, no, I know we're supposed to be there. And that would give me like, okay. But I remember that morning, I was like, I do not want to go. But anyway.
And we were both in kids ministry at the time. I had moved from security to be in kids ministry.
Oh, you sure did. I forgot about that.
I got tired of working in the security.
Because they were trying to promote you and stuff like that. You're like, nah.
I was like, promote that guy. Like, make him head of security. You remember me doing that?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be head.
Yeah,
I'd rather be the tail.
Please don't see me. Please don't see me.
So
we're on the causeway. We're getting actually.
Oh, and by the way, it was an hour drive to church every Sunday, and we had to get there like 2 hours early to serve.
Something like that.
So like 6 hours out of the week, we were like on the road and like serving. And
it wasn't hard doing that. It was just
because we had purpose in it, so we knew we were supposed to do it, and we enjoyed the ride. And
I did. I did enjoy that.
But then Mercedes.
R.I.P. So we're on our way. We're going over the bridge by the coffee beans where we're all like, oh, it smells like coffee. And then we're finally going downhill, and then all of a sudden,
Blow.
It's like, what? All the kids are like, what's going on? And you pulled over, and luckily we weren't like going down, or we weren't like going up.
We were going down.
We were going down. No, we were cruising, and then it just stopped. Could you turn it again? Could it go?
The motor blew up.
So how did we get to that gas station? Did we just walk?
I coasted. Remember, we had to push it a little ways.
Yes, you and Eden.
Yeah, we pushed it. And we were supposed to be at church to serve. And I remember calling Tyrone. And I was like, our car just blew up.
It's hot.
It's hot. Is there anybody you can get to come pick us up? And he was like, nope. He was like, we got services about to start. And that was it. So we were stuck there at that gas station. I actually called somebody who wasn't a Christian, who was just somebody that I knew in Bush, who I'd been working with, and he came and helped me.
An hour away.
And he was an hour away. He borrowed his grandma's van, came, helped me. And so I sat in that parking lot on the back of my car. The only car we had. I wasn't angry, but I was like, God, are we supposed to continue going here? What? We don't have a car now. And I heard as clear as day, your time is complete. And I was like, okay.
All right, let's go back
And
to
I wasn't mad.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't like.
Yeah, I remember being like, when you told me nobody came, I personally was like, for real? Like, after everything? After like.
We devoted like 2 years of our lives to that place. And
because our pastor told us to. He said, stay put for 2 years. Please just stay put.
That was Rob, yeah.
And we did, which is, I mean, and it wasn't like, I had forgotten about that. But I remember him asking us to stay put for 2 years because we were like, Texas, and but that was who we are. I mean, we like the move.
It's what we were supposed to do.
Yeah. So, but when I said, like, for real, seriously, nobody's coming. You're like, no, but I did what I was supposed to. I was like, for real? Like that? You were just giddy about it. You're like, I did it. Like,
I accomplished it.
Yes.
Because if you look back at the transformation between whenever the first time I went back to church and like, I'm never going to go here. God's never going to use the church.
Mm-hmm.
To how I ended then 8 years later, there's a total transformation.
Yeah.
Because my willingness and my joy to do it was all on board, even when it didn't make sense, even when I saw stuff that I was like, this isn't right. I was learning stuff and journaling constantly. I wrote a whole thesis paper on the belief system and how it was different than what we were practicing. And I even like sent this to Pastor Rob. I sent it to my brother who was involved at Bethany. I sent it to my father. All three of those people I sent it to, and not one of them read it. And I with Rob, I set up a meeting. I said, hey, I want to meet with you to talk about that thing. Have you read it yet? And like months went by. I waited like probably 2 or 3 months. And so he finally was like, okay. So I drove from Bush to Baton Rouge, which was like an hour and a half. I met him at this pizza place. I was like, hey man, how's it been going? Like I had a bunch of questions. Well, I didn't actually bring it up when I was there. So before I went, I prayed about it. And God told me not to bring up the purpose of the meeting, about the paper that I sent him and the questions that I had. Don't bring it up. So we sat there for probably about an hour and we talked about everything but that paper. And whenever I left the restaurant, I had this like feeling of like, oh my gosh, like he can't acknowledge any of this stuff because it would discredit him as a pastor and he would have to go find something else out. And whenever I left the meeting, God told me they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They don't want to hear the truth. Because then they would have to acknowledge that what they've been following is a lie.
Yeah.
And they don't want that.
I mean, it would discredit everything that they
And that,
built.
yeah, and that was the last time that I like felt like I was supposed to go, be involved in church.
Yeah.
What is it, baby? What is it, my baby? My baby? You can't just get up in the middle of it. You're about to burn.
And again, I felt like safe with where we were at with you. But like where I was at spiritually was still a little different. I was still learning a lot of things, and
you're always a little bit slower than me, Pussy.
Oh, stop it. But I would be more disappointed at stuff like that, because I was like, they were our friends, like, and maybe it's because I'm a woman as well.
Womanizer, you're a woman.
No, but like I felt like that was our friends. Like, do you want to hear what we have to say? And I was kind of shocked that he didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
Or I didn't want to talk about it with you. But I mean, looking back now, I think like why would he want to listen? You know.
Well, I've found that you and I are a rare breed because we don't follow cultural trends. We don't get fascinated by famous people. We aren't interested in any of that stuff. We just want the truth, and we're willing to be alone, you know, for the sake of the truth. And most people aren't like that. They have to have community. They have to have people around them cheering them on, telling them they're doing a good job, even if what they're doing is meaningless. It doesn't matter. The value of what most people do is not as important as just doing something that feels good.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was, yeah, I think for me during that time, I needed to see that, because I feel like you got to see that in Texas.
Yeah.
And so for me coming back to Louisiana, I got to see that with the church that I grew up in.
Yeah.
I mean, we both did, but you know, with the people
for sure.
that I cared about.
And I was at a place in my life where I was so content with like myself and not chasing money anymore. I wasn't chasing like God being proud of me or accomplishments, that I was just fine like being on the farm. And then I had that dream. Do you remember that?
Which one? Because there was one where we were poor or something like that.
Yeah, I had the dream where we were in poverty there, and it opened my eyes to what was happening and how our kids were being raised. And I knew that our kids' future was in jeopardy with us being there. And that's when we decided to move to Florida to give them a better life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that'll be the next episode. Our moving to Florida. And we've been here now for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about what we've learned while we were here and what we experienced. Florida is a nasty place.
You think Louisiana's something. It's a different type of breed.
We'll get into that.